everybody, this is Ricardo and welcome to Golden Axe, which is today's offering from Retro Gameplay, the Retro Gameplay series I've been developing since I found my Atari ST up the attic. So Golden Axe is a side-scrolling hack and slash game that was released in 1989 by Sega and was in arcades everywhere, especially in the UK. The game places the player in control of one of three warriors, each bent on revenge against the vile dictator Death Adder. Now on this screen I've got picture-in-picture of the character selection and the first couple of levels of gameplay. Now for the purpose of this demonstration I'm going to be using the dwarf, okay, and I think he's one of the best characters, absolutely fantastic, whereas the other characters happen to be Tyris Flare, who is an Amazon who wields a massive sword whilst wearing chainmail, bikini, braces and red boots. You can see where she'd appeal to certain people. Both her parents were murdered by Death Adder's forces, leading her to seek revenge in the first Golden Axe game. Her magic attacks are all fire-based, including the summoning of a giant and a flame-spewing dragon. Tyris has the shortest range of the heroes with her attacks, but possesses the most powerful spells. Now the dwarf, who I've adopted for this mission, is Gilius Thunderhead, and he's a bearded dwarf, as we can see, actually commands the Golden Axe. He wears a green tunic, leather boots and a horned helmet. He seeks revenge in Golden Axe after his brother is murdered by Death Adder's forces, returning again to defeat Dark Gould in Golden Axe 2. So Death Adder is a tyrannical giant who wears a full iron helmet, pointed spaulders and wields an enormous double axe. In addition to his brutal strength and speed while attacking, he can also cast magical spells, and with his army he enslaves the kingdom of Golden Axe and kidnaps its royal family. So after dispatching his minions, Adder is then finally killed by the game's three heroes, but is then resurrected for Golden Axe, the Revenge of Death Adder. The last protagonist is Axe Battler. Now Axe Battler is a barbarian hero. He uses a claymore whilst wearing a loincloth and blue boots, as well as iron braces and a gorget. He calls upon volcanic magic as his spell of choice, deploying lava and powerful eruptive blasts. Axe's mother is murdered by Death Adder's forces, providing his motive in the original Golden Axe. Axe was also given a solo game for the Sega Game Gear, titled Axe Battler: The Legend of Golden Axe, in which he charged with saving another kingdom. Battler is the most balanced character, having the better striking range and less spell power than Tyris, the Amazon warrior, and more powerful magic, but not the extended physical reach of Gilius, our dwarf. So in the picture-in-picture you can see the gameplay is closely following the gameplay in the main screen. So we have the barbarian on the top left hand side and the Amazon warrior Tyris on the top right. So, as we mentioned, the dwarf wields an axe and has the longest range, and that is actually the Golden Axe. Though I do find the Amazon warrior perhaps, I would say, the more all-rounded character as regards to what is stated as the barbarian being the most all-rounded character. So progress is made through the game by hacking and slashing your way through Adder's forces, as we can see, and you can ride beasts. On the screen now you can see little elves who pop out with sacks. Hit those elves and you can get magic potions. Get to magic potions and unleash magic death on all your enemies, especially very useful when it gets to some end and mid-level bosses. So as I mentioned, the magic bars are filled by attacking these little dwarfs or servants or traders, picking up their blue magic potions, thus filling up your magic bar. So, Gilius the dwarf is limited to 3 bars and casts lightning spells. The female warrior, on the top right hand side, Tyris, can cast devastating fire magic, but her most powerful spells cost 6 bars. That's a hell of a lot of potions. An Axe, he's able to cast these earth spells, and he's limited to 4 bars for his most powerful magic attack. So you can see that Tyris has the most devastating magical attack of the game. Now as you can see, I've been knocked off my beast, and it's been pinched by one of the orcs, or soldiers, but you can hit them and get it back. But after a while that beast will get bored and then run off. So the tail swipe on this beast is quite good. Other beasts include fire-breathing dragons, much like a flamethrower approach, or another dragon that fires flaming bolts. Now on the Atari ST, the game constantly loads as you progress, which does lead to some delays. Now, as you can see, we've got some boss level people here, some green giants. Keep swiping them with your animal's tail until you get knocked off like I have. But then the golden axe wielded by Gilius does make short work of these attackers. Just by repeatedly hitting the button is not the way to get through golden axe. Leaving a pause can give way to special moves. You can also do flying kicks or a running charge. Jumping up while pressing the button gives a large chopping effect to get those bigger enemies. So this level here is where the little servants or peddlers come along and you can give them a good kick or a punch so they can drop more magic potions, thus replenishing your magic. Now in between levels we're getting a little bit of story. Now, unfortunately this doesn't go through the entire game, though that would be quite long, as my second disc is corrupted, so I have to try and find a second disc somewhere. In the top left you can see me testing out the Barbarian's volcanic spell. And our dwarf is off to do more battling. As the game progresses, you're then met by green merchants. Now the green merchants drop food. The food then replenishes the gems that depict your health on the bottom left hand side of the screen. Though you can only have a maximum of 3 health gems at any one time. Now Golden Axe gave way inevitably to sequels, that being Golden Axe 2. Each of the heroes from the first game returned to battle the forces of the evil villain Dark Gould in this sequel. While Golden Axe 2 was a Mega Drive Genesis exclusive from a development point of view, it saw limited arcade exposure. Many video game magazines at the time expressed the game was very likely rushed into production to build on the success of the first one and make more money. So following that, in 1992, Golden Axe: The Revenge of Death Adder was released by Sega. Despite its popularity, the game remains an arcade exclusive as of this date and hasn't made it to the consoles. Only the dwarf Gilius Thunderhead made a return, riding the back of a new character, the Goa the Giant. The rest of the cast is all new and includes Sternblade the Barbarian, Dora the female centaur, Little Tricks, a young lad who carries a pitchfork. The main enemy once again is Death Adder. The Revenge of Death Adder was the only Golden Axe game in which one of the magic attacks was not offensive, as Little Tricks grew apples with fruit that replenished health. So apple trees popped up, little apples came off, you picked up the apples, there was your health. At the game's end, Death Adder rises one more time. Gilius sacrifices his life finally to end adders, and during the end cinematic, Gilius is shown a bar with every other character and a banner appears saying, "See you next game." So, that then led to Golden Axe 3, which was released in 1993. A few weeks after The Revenge of Death Adder, the third Golden Axe game on the Mega Drive was released only in Japan. So if you would seen it in this country, it would have been a Japanese import. However, on the Xbox 360 and that generation of consoles saw another Golden Axe game appear, Golden Axe Beast Rider, and featured the return of Tyris Flare, our Amazon that we can see in the top right hand corner of the screen. So that was released in 2008. Spin-offs included Golden Axe Warrior on the Sega Master System, which is another epic tale of the Golden Axe era. It's an action-adventure similar to The Legend of Zelda. Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe, was released for the Sega Game Gear. and like its console counterpart, it was based on more Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, than the original game. Golden Axe The Duel was released in 1994 in the arcades and then in 1995 on the Sega Saturn. Golden Axe The Duel is a one-on-one fighting game that does feature characters who appear to be descendants of some of the characters in the original game. Now you can see on the screen I'm battling here something straight out of Jason and the Argonauts. That being a skeleton with a shield and a scimitar and a female barbarian as well. So as the game progresses, I think quite samey but rich gameplay. Very difficult, I think, in the arcades. I didn't progress much further than I think this point in the arcades when putting your own money in. So I think it is quite a true-to-life representation on the Atari ST. Again, we've got the green imps and the blue imps, the green ones dropping health and the blue ones dropping potions. As the level finishes, we now move on to the last level of this section of the game that I was able to load on disc 1 of Golden Axe. This level does see a few different monsters and beasts to ride. And here we go. And sees us go through a town. Eventually, once we cross a bridge. Now here is a blue fire breathing or firebolt breathing dragon. But using the dwarf's lightning spell does make short work of them. Though in some times you cannot get onto those additional beasts. Jumping on the Atari ST I find is also very difficult, and there is a knack of doing it. With an aging joystick as well, things can be quite precarious, especially in this section of the game. Though with Tyris Flare, the Amazon warrior, jumping I thought at this stage was easier. Now you can see, have I made it? Am I in the middle? I don't know. No, I've died, so that's cost me a life. But now the game is refreshed, it's scrolled over a little bit more, and I'll be able to jump over once these skeletons fall to their death. Again, more chance to pick up magic. And our dwarf is making short work of these blue chainmail clad warriors. Female warriors with axes, no doubt. Now we're progressing, we've got more giants with massive club-like hammers to defeat. Don't really want to use magic at this stage, as they're quite simple to beat without resorting to using the special weapon. With one enemy down now, by giving him the benefit of our dwarf's axe, we should make short work of him. Time to fill up on more magic. And whether there was one or two players of you, you still get the same amount of imps. So the pressure was on in a two-player mode game that you had to get your full benefit of kicking that one particular imp. This 3-on-1 battle can prove to be a bit tricky, although what's coming up does prove to be somewhat trickier. Repeated button bashing here will get you through though. More loading from the Atari ST. And then we come up to the final end of level boss, which happened just before the game crashed. Fortunately, I've got three bars of my magic potions. I can instigate that magic potion casting spell and bring lightning down on them all. It's just finally getting the space so that you're able to do it. Here it is, bit of lightning. And he's done for. Now we're given the opportunity again to increase our powers. Once again, picking up food increases your health. And kicking the blue imps increases the magic spells. So, that was it from me from Golden Axe before the game crashed as I put the second disc in. I've been Ricardo and this has been my retro gaming series, and thanks for joining me on the past 18 minutes. See you soon.